Hello everyone, it's Steve with APTERA Owners Club. There has been some recent excitement atop the leaderboard of the Accelerator program. This is a short video that was put together by Tom, and he's put it on our Discord channel. So most of the investments are like upper 200s and below, and then it gets tight. But then there's a big jump to the 400s where there's two people, and then there was no one even getting close to a million. And then just in the last 2 days, this is what happened. All right, so let's talk about that. And here is the official APTERA leaderboard here. You see here RP from Maryland, who was atop the leaderboard for the longest time, and we thought he was just going to stay there. I seriously thought that no one was going to dethrone RP from Maryland. There is DI from California, and looks like if you look here,
I'm going to pick up my laptop from the chair that I've put down so that it doesn't wobble on my stomach when I breathe. And I'm going to turn it around and see if you can. No. First, I have to increase the video size. Now, hopefully, don't know why it's still narrow, but I'm going to turn it around, hopefully showing you that I've changed my seating position just for some variety. So now you might see there where I used to sit and make videos and then just fall asleep, and what you used to see behind me. At the moment, oops, not very steady on my hand, my left hand, but at the moment I'm sitting in a different position, and I'm going to reset it so that I'm actually, whoops, that doesn't work. I'm actually visible as I talk. You can see I hardly know what I'm doing as I talk in the remainder of this video clip that I'm making. Okay, so now I just have to get back to talking.
and looks like if you look here, this individual invested 3.989,498. Seems like a very odd number. So I don't really know what happened here, but
Well, I better start explaining myself. I've just decided to be visible and talk rather than, oh, this is awkward, rather than type. No real reason for it, just that my wife's out for the day, so I don't have those interruptions. You can still hear the birds sing, you can hear the jets flying over, and I do have some few people comment that they say they miss my talking. I don't know why. I think you can read faster than I can talk. I have so many pregnant pauses in between things that I want to say. It's just that looking at a computer screen makes me become somewhat incoherent. Anyway, what the heck? Let's go on. What do we got here? We've got the cretin showing that the leaderboard at the moment displays this almost $4 million, and I was in the process of making a video that tells you what's wrong with the deception involved. As usual, you are being deceived. Some of these long pregnant pauses I'm going to have to edit out, but in the main, I will leave it raw. I need to gather my thoughts because I've had a night's sleep and I'm just getting back into this. I think in the last part of what I did, I was showing that this 20.73 million once jumped up to the $24 million mark and then went back down. And we have some really funny things going on with this, what they call a Reg A investor that has been added to the leaderboard because he added something like the $10,500. So let's try and investigate further. I'll play a bit more.
Anyways, looks like he invested another 10,000 just to get on the leaderboard just a few days ago, and he's in there with basically $4 million. There's another DI that shows up in position 3. There's no state or country, and I wonder if these two are actually the same person. Because what is the likelihood that someone with the same initial would invest this amount of money into APTERA? I think that's pretty unlikely. So I believe, my guess is that this DI and this DI are actually the same individual or the same entity. It's possible that this is not an individual, but maybe a group of individuals, or a like a hedge fund or something, or some investment fund, or maybe like a family office or something like that.
Here's the cretin doing his usual guessing again. Guess this, guess that. But just looking at the facts, there's a DI with no state or country recorded, and one with a state and country recorded, and that's sloppy as it stands. In any case, something fishy is going on, and we always have that happening with APTERA. Always something fishy going on. Now, this is just a simple spreadsheet. People should be able to manage a spreadsheet and not be so, what do you call it, vague. In any case, there is something amiss here. We'll leave it as unexplained.
Because this is a significant amount of money. If it's this two together, it's $5 million from one individual. Now, the sort of bad news, I guess, on our end is that the amount invested by these two large investors, or possibly one large investor, and of course I think it's one large investor, is that there's only been $20,000 extra that's been put into the pot to help with current funding needs. But this person, RL from California, this is a completely new investor who decided to pitch in $500,000 on August 14th, 2023. So welcome to the club, Mr. RL or Mrs. RL, or RL the entity if you're not an individual person. This RL from California obviously maybe did not know about APTERA before, because that's my only thought process as to why they would have invested now. I think if someone knew about APTERA before and they had this kind of funds, they would have invested earlier. And I think because I don't think that there's been any big breakthrough or milestone reached by APTERA recently that would say that someone that's known about APTERA for a long time was on the fence about investing this kind of money would have made them say pull the trigger and say yes, now I'm going to put $500,000 into them. I think it's more likely that they just found out about APTERA and recently, and then they decided to invest. Let me know in the comments below if you think it's someone that's been sitting on the fence and there was some milestone that they saw recently that made them decide to invest. And if you think that's the case, what was the milestone that made them invest? Because I personally don't see it. I mean, there was
Well, I can't let you know in the comments because he's blocked me. But I have no idea, and I don't make guesses at the rate that he does.
a milestone when they got the dies made. They showed that video of the dies being made at CPC, but that was like a few months ago. And so why wait until then? So I think that this is someone that found out recently, and that means that maybe these marketing events that APTERA has been doing, going to that Tesla takeover or the Del Mar Fairgrounds or going to that World Cup of U.S. Open of surfing. Maybe those things found this investor, which means that was great because that helped them raise $500,000 and to get us closer to production. Okay, so very exciting.
Well, seeing that he's guessing and hasn't got a clue, and I won't even entertain a guess, why doesn't this APTERA Motors, who claim to be so transparent and open, why don't they answer him? Let's look for it in the comments in the next few days.
A lot of changes in the top 5 position and we thought that there would be no changes and RP would never be dethroned from the #1 position. But here we are. We've been proven wrong. So maybe there's some even bigger investors out there that we don't know about. Maybe some people have invested even more than $4 million in the past, but just haven't put in the $10,000 to show up on the leaderboard. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Well, it's not finished here. I'm going to have to backtrack and I'm going to have to do some investigating elsewhere to finish this video. I have the leaderboard on my stomach, so I hope it doesn't bounce too much. But I need it close so that I can see the figures, and I want to finish this thing up, so let me just point out what I need to point out. And it's in these little pop-up boxes. And apparently this one is blank. Okay, now it's turned up. What we see is that originally DI was a Class A investor with a massive amount of investment. Now, is that $3,999 plus what it's worth today? Oops, my mistake, 3,989,000 plus. Is that what it's worth today at the 10.50 a share value? Or is it at the 1 cent a share value and adjusted? I'll repeat that again. Did DI purchase shares, an X amount of shares at 1 cent each, and this figure at almost 4 million is the adjusted price of his shares at today's value? Anyway, that's only a minor thing. The major thing is that DI is a Class A investor. So we go down and we look at RP, and we see that he was a Class A investor, but when he added the next investment, was only small, he was relegated to an ordinary investor. I don't even know what they're called. And then when he added to get onto the leaderboard, the $10,500, he was doing it as an ordinary investor again. So we'll look at the next one. And this is DI again. The DI from nowhere. Okay, and we look here, and here's $1 million. Interesting, clean figure. Back in 2021, a long time ago, was a Class A investor. And just wondering, was that $1 million adjusted for today's values? And did he pay 1 cent a share back then? I would like APTERA Motors to clarify these things because they are totally unclear. Unfortunately, you have to put up with my face being so large in the little square. I might blank it out. Anyway, DI from nowhere. Actually, DI now has just come from Singapore in SG. Not sure what that is. Singapore in Singapore, I suppose. Anyway, that's besides the point. DI has found a home, and now we look at him being that Class A investor. But he has just come on as a regular investor through APTERA.us. And the other DI, if it is a different person, did a Class A investment, just a slight difference. So now we go down to RI. This person, he was winning for a while. No, I've got to move this around so that I can see it. RL. This is the newbie. This is the one that's just come on, and lo and behold, his investment right now, as of a few days ago, 10 days ago, his investment is Class A. I wonder if APTERA Motors can explain why this guy just didn't put in a regular investment. Why has he or she been allowed to be Class A? But of course, that $500,000 must be in today's money, so he must have paid that amount. Didn't have the chance to pay a cent a share like the others. Anyway, do we get down to the $1 million man, the leader for so long? Oh no, it was. Oh yes, RP. RP was the long-term $1 million man. I'm pretty hopeless at this. So he was the long-term $1 million man, and the second or the same DI from Singapore has decided to. What has he done? Be happy to come in third. That's all. All right. So let's just try and see one other anomaly in this. And I think it's this DI. I've got a squint. Did it on the 14th of August to be a part of the leaderboard. And this DI did it on the 10th of August, 4 days earlier. But this newbie with $500,000 that was allowed Class A was on the 14th of August, the exact same date as the first DI. Well, that's about all I can see from that. That's my big investigation done.